welcome back to Uncut, where we get together, get comfortable, get real. Today's episode's a little different. We have a special guest.
Round of applause, drum roll.
For this special guest.
Our first ever guest.
Our first ever guest.
So you special.
Yeah. Come in peace.
Go ahead and introduce yourself. Let the people know who
What's
you
up, guys? My name is Mota, creative, stylist, musician. You name it.
Fashionista, you know, entrepreneur of many different trades.
Yes.
Indeed.
So Mota here, as you said, you're creative and you are into fashion, and what is it that you do? You have your own company called
Exodos.
Okay.
What is that? Like, how did you get into finding out that name?
It's
And what
crazy
is it?
because this goes back to 2016, and it's a long story. But 2016 was my year of transition. You know, I used to be in the streets. The streets of Scarborough. But I was really trying to kind of get out of it, and in the process of trying to get out of it, that's where I kind of started tapping into my gifts being music and fashion. And with music, it's always a little easier because you have the connections all around you, the community, different musicians putting on, but I didn't really know how to go about it from a fashion standpoint, right? So, me being locked up in my room and whatnot, it was also a period where I started really kind of reading the Bible. And in that phase, I kind of fell in love with one of, for me, I think it's he's the best character in the Bible. His name is Moses. And the reason why I fell in love with him is because I kind of relate to him. I was someone that I was super angry, but I didn't know how to talk though. I didn't know how to express myself.
Yeah.
And in that and I found this book, which is the actual second book of the Bible, which is Exodus. And I was this.
You felt like it was
This is
beginning.
it. That's it.
It was just it's mysterious.
It's
Mysterious. So I was you know what, let me look into this. What does this actually mean? So looking into it deeper, I found out that it basically meant mass departure, which related to the actual book where Moses was actually helping the people of Israel out, leading people out. So now that kind of clicked. It's how can I tie this with fashion? Me being the type of person that I am, I'm not really the type of person that talks a lot, but it's how can I push this fashion thing out? And it's okay, that's where it all came together. It all came together, and then that's where even my mission is literally founded off of that name, Exodus, because it's all about transitioning people from their old ways of dressing into.
Look how we just tied that in. We saw he landed his plane.
Full circle.
I like that.
So that's what it really is. That's my mission. Just everyone and anyone. How can I get you to go from where you were at or where you are and leveling you up to
You've taken your personal experience from from the hood and how you used to, because
From your own transition.
We've known Mota for quite a long time.
Quite a long time.
He's come a long way. Trust us. So yeah, but no, it's your own testimony, from where you were able to get out of that and start. You've taken that passion and led out to new pastures. You're now doing the same for others. So,
but I want to know,
amazing.
at which point did you realize that you were into fashion exactly?
It's crazy because, I never used to be the type of person to be able to dress and whatnot.
No, you weren't.
Right?
No, you weren't.
Anyone that knows me
listen.
knows that I was not the person that used to be able to dress and whatnot. And I was actually the type of person, I was trying to actually fit in. You know, I was trying to fit in, like, oh, this guy's wearing like the next Jordans, the next, you know, like Air Force Ones, this, and I was trying to fit in. But it was like, I think when I was going into grade 9, like that transition from grade 8 to grade 9 is where I realized that, like, why can't I just be who I am? I could, you know, it's better to you know, be my own self, have my own style than being
someone
among the
else
sheep,
following.
you know? So that's when I kind of realized, like, you know, like, okay, like, let me start putting things together. Let me start looking into color palettes, you know, start understanding colors and the way that, you know, people dress and how can I deviate from that and stay in my own lane. You know?
Did you have any like people that like inspired you or influenced you in terms of like actually cultivating that gift and becoming a stylist? Because it's one thing to change your own attire, but how are you able, like, where does that creative sense come from in terms of like looking at a person and knowing like how to
This will look
find
good on
something?
me.
Is it
on
something
them, yeah.
natural? Is it something that you had to cultivate? Is it something you studied? Like, how did you?
Or was it just like a gift? Like you just felt like
I personally think it's a gift.
Wow.
I think it's a gift because I never studied fashion. I went to school for accounting, so business management and accounting,
Nothing.
which has nothing to do with
Be like
fashion at all. I think it was just like influences. So like, you know, kind of seeing what people in Europe, you know, how they dress, what they do, tie it in with how people in America, you know, how do they dress, what do they do, you know, and when it's a gift, it's like it's not forced. It's not forced, so everything just came natural. I personally wanted to understand color palettes. I personally wanted to understand what blends were, how to.
You start to
You feel like work.
when it's a gift and it's like a deep-rooted passion, you start looking into, the why is your industry like this, or why I want to do this to the best of my ability. So I want to understand why it's not just I'm doing it to dress somebody and then get money for it. It's I want to do it with passion, and I want to do it
purpose.
with I want to do it with
to make a
purpose.
difference.
Yeah.
And how did it feel have like the first time you styled somebody? Your first client.
Do you remember? Yeah.
Remember your first
You know what I mean? Because
My first
everybody remembers your first client.
His first client.
My first client is hilarious because my first client was actually my sister.
Oh yeah.
It was Priscilla. It was my sister, and let me tell you, the outfit. I look at that outfit till today. I could never post it. It was terrible.
We challenge you.
But-
Post it.
Post
it. Hashtag growth.
10-year challenge.
Hashtag growth.
Man, but honestly though, like
But you feel like you've come a long way.
I've
Like,
come a long way.
and you probably, obviously, you.
Wow.
From what I can picture is that you dressed her up, obviously with the best intention that I'm gonna put
At
my
the
sister
time.
together at the time.
Yeah.
I'm putting her together, but obviously looking back, you're like, it was your first try.
Yeah.
It was with your best intent. It was, with all your heart. It just wasn't it.
It wasn't.
But it
Well,
went up
it's
from
not-
there.
no, it
But
was
not
in
at the
then.
time.
It was
then.
it.
It was in then. Okay.
But today,
But
it's
now
not
it's
it.
like.
But I have a question. How important is it? Because do you mostly style men, women? Do you
I
both?
style men and women.
Okay.
Both men and women.
How important is it to dress nice? Like, do you think that the way you dress says a lot about you, or does it, like, how
Especially for
important
men.
is it,
Yeah.
for men?
Yeah, I think it's very important because, like, just that first, like, appearance, that, like,
First impression.
that first impression, like, it matters. It
Yeah.
matters. Like, you want to dress, and when you want people to address you, right? Like, appearance is everything, right?
Yeah, they say, like, dressed apart. Because, like, obviously, if we take, like, an interview, right?
That's true.
Or in an interview, or even if, as a woman, if a man approaches us, right? It could be the most serious man in the world, but if he comes in, I don't know, baggy pants and an extra large t-shirt, like it's 1999, you're not gonna take him that seriously versus if he came in a dress shirt and some nice
Playing
tailored pants.
devil's advocate, would you say it's fair to judge somebody solely based on their appearance and how they're dressed? Aside from like an interview where like, okay, you're not gonna show up in an interview with sweatpants.
Yeah,
and-
but you show
But
You know what I mean?
even when you're seeing somebody
Yeah.
like walking in the mall and
Yeah,
you see
I
their
feel we all
appearance,
do it, but do you think it's fair?
it's
to,
okay or
Like,
Yeah,
it's justified.
That's the thing, though. You just mentioned it. We all do it, but it's not fair, right? It's not fair. But the human that we are, the human element, we end up doing.
Yeah,
it.
you just
You know what
automatically
I'm saying?
just
So that's why it's like
judge a book by its cover.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But can you tell a lot about a person by the way that they dress? Like, can you tell what type of dude a person is by the kicks that they wear?
100%.
Okay.
Okay,
100%.
Jordans. Tell me, street.
Streetwear.
No, is that man street? Like in terms of his character.
I think it's about also
So
how
it's-
you dress
It's
it.
because
Yeah.
the thing is with dressing, like it's
people
all
wear
just-
suits with kicks, with like sneakers.
That's the thing. It all
That's
comes
true.
down to personality.
Yeah.
You see, for me personally, like with the couple of years that I have now, I've learned that personality plays a very very big role in the way that you dress. You know, you'll see, for example, I'm not saying like, okay, like if you see a man with a suit, then he's like a pastor. He's just not, you know what I'm saying? But it's like you could tell that if like the way that he's wearing the suit,
Yeah.
just for example the cut, right? That tells you that like this person, like he knows what he's doing. He's well put together, and
He has
like,
a good stylist.
Shameless plug.
We
I
just
don't
plug
think
you
that.
in.
But yeah, literally, that's what it comes down to. Like, personally
true.
plays a very, very big role.
I have a question for you because you actually styled Henry for his wedding.
Ooh.
So
Have
did
you
you?
her husband?
I mean,
Have you her husband?
For
Because I
your
remember-
wedding?
Yes.
Wait, yeah.
Yeah, for his
Did
wedding.
I say
for
his wedding?
Yeah,
Yeah.
were you there?
For our wedding. I was there. No, but did you think about, okay, who he is? Like because you said just now, like, people dress, like, you think that a character has a lot to do with how people dress. So in finding his suit, I think we just gave you colors, if I believe. So in finding, like, how to dress him, did you think about his character, how he is, and because that
Yeah,
suit
because your
was.
husband didn't wear a conventional suit. Like,
Yeah.
it was like a patterned suit.
It was a pattern.
But back then,
Back then, it was
wasn't
like
a
it wasn't
thing.
out.
Yeah.
It wasn't
It
out
wasn't
yet.
out.
So how do you go about knowing, okay, this is gonna look good, or this is for him? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you take in the person's character, or like how does that work?
100%. You take their character. You ask them questions. And the thing is, I was fortunate enough to know Henry. Prior to
Yeah.
So it's like I already know his personality. He's not the type of person, for example, to be loud out there. He's more reserved, for
Yeah.
example. So in my head, what that registers is like, I'm not gonna go and put like yellow or like you're gonna go with like shades, for example, black, gray. So personality, it just comes down to understanding who you're dealing with, whether
Yeah.
it's a client.
I think also
friend, or
because your
family.
husband is more of like the soft-spoken type. It wasn't like, but if you get a chance, you can post the pictures. People can know what we're talking about. But it wasn't like the suit wasn't out there, but it still gave Henry like a pop.
yeah.
Where it's like if you know him, you're like, yeah, that's him.
That's
It's not boring or traditional where it's just
it
black.
wasn't plain,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's not super out there where it's like flowers or anything like that, but it gave him the right pop and swag to be like, yes.
He was
So
dapper.
good looking out, good looking out. Good looking out.
Was it a surprise to you when you saw him?
Like
Or
when
did you see
I
it?
mean, I saw it.
First of all, it was crying.
You know, no, I thought it was dope. I'm like, that's sick. Till this day, okay, like my wedding stuff, I'm not gonna lie, there it's a bit raggedy.
Yeah.
To this day, this man has his suit just all there,
No
all
way.
neat, like just
Wow.
like hanging there, just there, perfect. It looks like he hasn't even worn it once. So that goes to show how
Wow,
much like,
how
he
much you
loved it.
appreciate it.
Yeah. Do you prefer like a specific event to style people for? Like, do you feel
Like,
like
what do you style people for? Is it everything?
Anything and everything,
Anything.
to be honest, because at the end of the day, the way I see it is that like you like it's all about representation. You know, it's not just okay because I'm going out, I need a stylist. I want to kind of once again deviate from that and be like, listen, it could be something as small as like a presentation, you know, something as small as a meeting, you know, like let me hit up Mota and be like, how can I put this together? I have an interview, for example, for
Here's
this.
just a question, just when you tapped into that, when people call you like for different things, what do you tell to someone that's watching and just not know that, why would I need a stylist? Because I'm saying like, there's men out there or men that are just now realizing that yes, the way I dress is important, or they feel like I know how to put a t-shirt and some jeans together, or a dress shirt. Like I know how to put myself together.
Or they think it has to be a special occasion that I'm calling.
Yeah, so like somebody that feels like, well, I already know how to dress. What would you tell them, and like
How would you
educate people on what you need a stylist for? Because I think we have this discussion also just as planners. It's people always, or any service that you're doing, people just think that I could do it myself. Well, I can do my own hair, my makeup, I could do my own makeup. What can you tell people to be like, no, you may know how to do something, but you
This is
need
what
me.
I bring,
Yeah,
Yeah.
what do you bring? Why do we need you?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, think of it like this. You know, when you go to the hospital, right? When you go to the hospital, you have you see a doctor. But why is it that sometimes some of these doctors refer you to a specialist? You know what I'm saying? Think about it. Why do because they refer you to the specialist because the specialist knows more than the doctor himself. Not saying that the doctor doesn't know.
Or on
the
that
job,
specific.
but on a specific thing, the specialist knows he can orient you in a better way. He can give you advice in a better way, you know? So that's why, like, when it comes, just like you said, not just in terms of fashion, like me as a stylist, but even like event planners or just any of those in general, there's a reason why these people are in place for the type of stuff, you know? Sometimes it could be just as little as just relieving pressure off you.
Wow.
That's true too.
You know,
Yeah.
me, for example, being able to style weddings, you would not imagine the difference that it makes when you have someone there to just simply iron your stuff.
Or the time.
That gives you an extra maybe 1 hour, 2 hours for you to just sleep and just rest up. For example, your special day,
Iron
but
your
you're
stuff,
waking
put
up
yourself together, make sure.
That's true.
Yeah.
Or
So-
find you the right suit, especially when you don't know what to wear.
Yeah, I think stylists are really overlooked. I think they've been overlooked for a long time. I think you're kind of helping to bring that back into the light.
I
and
feel like
see.
recently
Because we
there's been
didn't
a
think about it. Like I have never thought about
Yeah.
like I need a stylist for an event. You know what I mean? You might think, yeah, I want to go to Moore's to get a suit, get whatever. But to actually have a stylist, nobody's really thought of that before.
And to say,
until Mota started.
That's what I was gonna say. Like I remember when you started and you were reorganizing your page. I remember seeing it and like, I kind of squinted like, what is
What is
this?
it for?
You know what I mean? Like,
why
why
is
is it
it needed?
important? And
Yeah.
like, what these random people that just dress nice. And at that time, that's back when people used to just take pictures on their phone and post.
That's what I mean. There's
And
a
now-
big importance of people to
Now
look good
people
on.
are like, everyone's taking professional pictures. Everyone is really trying to advertise themselves. There's a lot of business and entrepreneurship boom that happened. I think a year after you started, and so I started to see influencers, people that started to come on your page, and I was like, oh wow, like who knew that this could actually be something that's not so much like. It's not just about a wedding, it's even about like how you portray yourself as a creative on your Instagram, you know what I'm saying? And having I think it's really important to have a stylist, even just for the gram, you know what I mean? Especially if you have a business.
Especially if you have a brand.
Exactly.
Yeah, especially like, influencers and people that have, social brands and stuff like that on social media.
Yeah.
Having an extra set of eyes to just, because again, like as people, we just often think that I could do this myself.
Right.
Like why would I pay someone, or why would I need somebody else to do this or to help me? But you don't see yourself. You need somebody else to either get to know you or to look at you.
See what looks good on you. Because sometimes you think something looks good on you,
And
Yeah.
It ain't it.
That's
It ain't
So you
it.
need
Yeah.
someone that has an expert at knowing what's
Yeah.
good for you. You know, your body type, your height, and all that. What will look good.
Skin tone,
Body
everything.
type.
Tone.
Body type, yeah.
Body
So what would you
type.
say to someone who wants to who wants to be a stylist right now? You know, they're at that phase, right, where you know they're praying, they're asking God, they feel like this is their gift. How do they now step into that realm and being like, okay, this is what they need to do next? What would you tell that person?
I will tell them to start today. Don't leave it for tomorrow. Because if you start today, you get to make whatever mistakes today, but you will be an expert for tomorrow. And you're going to look back tomorrow and you're going to be like, okay, you know what? This is what I did back then. But at the same time, you're going to have more people that are going to be starting, right? And you being now ahead, you will get to mentor those people, you know. So that's even, for example, I'm fortunate enough, you know, like taking that leap at that time, and now being in the position where I also am able to share my knowledge, you know, like having now a team now. It's like I would have never thought that I would be in the position that I am, but
He
So
holds
a
up to-
mentorship
he holds
is
up to his
important?
name, Moses.
Because you mentioned that.
Moses and Exodus.
You mentioned like mentorship. Is that something you felt like that really helped you in building your brand, like finding, especially in like I guess the stylist world, where you know what I mean? It's different than you know other industries. But do you feel like in being a stylist, finding a mentor, someone who can kind of show you the way was important to your growth?
it was very, very important. You know, it's one thing for you to, you know, understand that, okay, like it's there, you have it, but what's the next step? And I think what a lot of people, not just in the fashion industry, but just in general, when they start with something, they tend to be afraid of reaching out to those that are maybe further ahead or the experts. But in me personally doing that, not only has that blessed me in terms of knowledge, but also in terms of opportunities and collection.
Wow.
Because what happens now is that now you're under someone's wing and you're learning, you're being groomed. And what happens is now, once that person lets you go, once that, he tells you spread your wings, right? It's a whole different, because now you're
equipped.
You're equipped.
Yeah.
You're ready to go, right?
So are you saying you got space under your wings? Like, are you saying that
Are
if
you
people
ready
need
to
to
at you
start
right
now,
now?
that they can just hit you up and that you're available? His wings are available, y'all. His wings are available.
No, but yeah, definitely.
And I was creeping Facebook. I was creeping Facebook earlier when I was on break.
Don't do
And
that.
I saw your website is ready to go.
It's ready. It's
Yeah.
ready.
Let him know. Let him know.
Let us know.
Talk to the people.
Exodos realms.com.
We'll have the link and the ads and everything on social media and on this lovely video. We want to thank you so
you
much.
so much.
Thank you for joining.
Joining us on the
very
cast.
Yes.
And if you have any insights or any thoughts on, you know, men in fashion or where fashion is going, or how, you know, you want to tell Mota how important his job is, and just, you know, uplift him and others like him and other creatives that maybe want to come out there, leave your comment down below. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.
Bye.